So I seen this video. And when I seen this video, I said, oh man, I hope that Myron didn't slander the soft guy era. I hope he didn't do it. But that's what we are reacting to today. I have not watched this video, so it's kind of a live reaction. You see it's 20-something minutes. I'm going to try and condense it, so any fluff I'm going to cut out. Let's get into it.
All the trend happening on TikTok, YouTube, and everywhere on social media where girls were saying things, for example, okay, a guy should pay these things for me, my light bill, my water bill, my car note, my apartment, and then they add to the very end of it, sprinkle, sprinkle, as like a joke, right? And this is a video we're going to play actually right now to showcase this in full effect. I think Mo has the video, right?
We have the video.
Yeah. But Soft Guy Era basically is going to be the guys coming back to fight this in a comedic, funny, sporty way. Drizzle, drizzle.
I have not watched it, so I just want to note, fresh noted at the top of the video that it's comedic. Let's continue.
Pretty funny, but let's check it out.
If you don't know what the soft guy era is, or you just simply hate the soft guy era, this video is for you. Shout out to my fellow Mark Pollard, for dropping a slide on Instagram.
You remember that guy,
Yeah,
Pastor Papi Don?
Yeah, he fucking the biggest simp on earth.
I actually come to find out his whole actual content creation was a sham. Actually, he doesn't believe any of that shit.
I fucking knew it.
He doesn't believe any of that shit, bro. So isn't that funny?
So why was he saying?
You should know who Pastor Papi Don is to some degree, because he was just saying ridiculous stuff like a year or two ago. But the chick Tacos and Shawarma that I've posted videos of, she has a podcast with him, and you come to find out dude got like a bunch of baby moms. He's a toxic dude. And he didn't believe none of that shit he was saying. He was just doing it as far as the deluxe pandering to get clicks and views from women to make bread. So that's what these dudes do. He came clean. So let's continue.
So this is the soft guy era video. Go ahead.
Explaining what this is. So if you didn't know, me and my brother Goody started the soft guy era a few weeks ago.
Goody.
And it's going viral. We have
Shout out to you, bro.
havoc on the internet, and so have the rest of y'all. We love the support.
Pause.
Keep dropping y'all videos.
What's his name again? The guy doing this video? Is it Mark Pollard? Is that him? No, or is it somebody else?
I don't know. I see Mark.
Well, whoever he is, bro, shout out to him for making this movement because it's funny as hell. This is really good movement. So let's go.
Keep making them mad. So now we're going into detail on what this is. The idea. Men in their soft guy era want to find high value women who can take care of them in ridiculous ways. Yes, we do. They want us to have money. I want my woman to have money as well. It's only right. Drizzle, drizzle. The soft guy era is a response to the soft girl era of 2023. It mocks videos in which
Okay, so we went from
Notice everybody in the studio is laughing except Myron. You see big dude just fucking, he is fucking took. He is took, bro. He is having a good laugh. Myron, super serious, bro. Super serious. Let's continue.
demand ridiculous things from men. It twists a mnemonic device from YouTuber Letitia Puday, aka the Sprinkle Lady. It's a supervision of alpha male content. And then here's the kicker, and this is what they don't like. The 4 points. Women say they want equality, but then some demand the most unequal situations from men. And this includes men paying all the bills, but the woman is making money as well, but she doesn't want to come out of pocket because she's a woman, right? Doesn't make sense. That doesn't sound equal to me. Now we're going to go down to insight. If men acted like this, they'd be laughed out the room. See, now when women are hearing these things, they're like, oh, this is ridiculous. No way. You want a mom. You want a parent. You want a man. No, we just want what you guys want from us in return. Now on to the advantage. Men believe they bring a lot to the table, so maybe they are now the table. See, a lot of men don't realize they are the table. If a man is paying all the bills, sir, you are the table. You're providing for a woman and your children. You are the table. But a lot of men don't realize who they are. So they really don't know they've been manipulated into living old-fashioned ways. That shit is over and it's dead. These women get money now. It's time to spend that money.
And if you guys notice, this is something that I've already been doing for years. You guys know, right, when I have argument schemes with these chicks or whatever, what I'll do is I'll take their logic and I'll apply it back to them. And they'll have a belief, and then I'll go ahead and take that belief and put it in another lens from a male perspective, and they'll be like, well, that sounds ridiculous. For example, girls always say, oh, you want a young girl so you can manipulate her because you're an asshole. Okay, cool, because we want young, attractive, fertile women, right? Then I'll be like, all right, well, you want a guy that makes money and taller than you, right? Okay, well, how about if I called you young and weak and short and stupid? She's like, well, that doesn't make sense. And I'm like, exactly, because you're trying to demonize my natural biological wants. That's like me demonizing your natural biological wants. It sounds stupid.
I just want to say that Myron is very masterful at drawing those parallels. But I look at him as the Batman of the manosphere because he's got all the tools and equipment. And if you're somewhat of a nerd and you've seen all like the Batman versus whoever, they always ask how much prep time does Batman have? Because Batman has a contingency plan for everybody. And Batman is a genius and he could beat anybody with preparation. Myron comes to the shows far more prepared than the drunk hoes that he be having on.
And then that's when if they're smart, they get it like, oh, okay, I see your perspective. Or if they're dumb, like they were the other night, like, well, that's not true. I don't agree with that. And it's like, no, it's just like using your logic on you. And whenever you go ahead and put the shoe on the other foot and you use female logic back on them, they're like, this is ridiculous. For example, that girl said, well, yeah, I do this because I'm a Sagittarius. And I said, what the fuck? What if I walked around and said, I'm a brokey because I'm a fucking Aquarius? You'd laugh at me. And they're like, yeah, ha, ha, ha. And the girls even laughed on the table. But it goes to show, guys, that, like, the logic doesn't hold up when you apply it to the other side. And that's what these guys are doing with this TikTok, which is interesting, which is, I like it. You know what I mean?
So this might have been clickbait because he just said he liked it. We're going to continue, though.
It's funny to see response because girls still don't care. Girls,
yeah, they don't give a fuck.
Girls
yeah, they don't give a shit.
Yeah,
yeah, they don't care. But
yeah,
it really, honestly, bro, when you make this kind of content, guys, it's not for the women. Like I've told y'all this a million times. Do we convert some girls? Yeah. I mean, I remember
a small amount.
We were doing our last IRL. You guys, I wish we had caught this on camera. But one thing that stands out to me, this girl came up to me with her boyfriend, and she goes, I was literally going to make an OnlyFans, and I was like one day away from making it, and then I watched one of your videos, and I saw a couple of your clips, and I stopped. I didn't do it.
Damn.
And now me and my boyfriend are in the best relationship we've ever been. And he was right there, too. And he shook my hand. I was like, God fucking damn. Like, okay, I got through to a girl, and I kept her from doing OnlyFans. That's a fucking W. So, like, when I'm over here, like, people say, Myron, you're harsh, whatever. Like, that one girl, remember we had that stripper here, and she was, like, 40 years old, etc.?
Yeah.
And I, like, yelled at her, and, like, you're a fucking idiot, blah, 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 and you're trying to get these other girls to do the stupid shit, make them same mistakes that you did, single mom, 40 years old, still fucking stripping. Like, though that might come off harsh, that might save a chick out there somewhere that's 19 years old, 20 years old, and doesn't know what she wants to do. And she's like, well, I'm just going to go out and dance because all my friends do it. And then they realize, like, maybe this isn't the best idea. Like, if I could keep one girl off the pole, that's a fucking huge W. I don't make the content for girls to get off the pole, but it's really awesome to see girls take the advice seriously and say, damn, okay, I learned from this.
Now, he's right. Of course, the content isn't made for girls. It's made for men because we're going to take it, we're going to soak it in, we're going to apply it, right? When it comes to women, and the reason that, this is like beautiful, that he's even saved even one chick with his content, women are very hedonistic. They really love to indulge in pleasure. They are like big kids. They just want to do what they want. And this is the thing about them. Especially when it comes to all the sexuality shit, feminism has conditioned them to think that all this debauchery that they engage in is normal, acceptable, and they shouldn't be shamed for it. That's how come they come up with defense terms like slut shaming and fat shaming and things like that. And they should just live a life where they just do whatever they want, hoe out to the max and just go crazy, right? This is the thing. A lot of what women do, they don't recognize is destructive to themselves. I'm going to say it again. They don't realize that they're destroying their reputation. They don't realize that they are destroying their dating prospects. They don't realize that they're destroying their future. And even then, they don't understand that they're destroying their psyche and their health in some situations. So with that being said, they just make the decisions in the moment based on what they feel, based on what they feel is the good thing to do, the fun thing to do, or whatever it might be, the lucrative thing to do, whatever it might be, not thinking about the consequence that's going to come later. Now, see, these guys are in Miami, but when you look at it, because I don't know how this works in bigger cities, but I know how it works in smaller cities. Once you ruin your reputation, once you get ran through, once everybody knows you as the go-to whore, let's just say a random city like Buffalo, New York. That's when you get into the I hate Buffalo so much. I hate Buffalo, man. I can't wait to move type shit. And that's what I call, you know, when they decide to move because they hoeing, like they done hold theyself out the city. I call that the whole reset. Because what hoes do from small cities that hold themselves out, what they do is they move to Atlanta, they move to Miami, they move to LA, they move to Detroit, they move far away from wherever the fuck they came from. They move to Houston, wherever they move to Dallas, wherever it might be, so that they can leave their past behind them and have a clean slate with guys who don't know all the damage that they did to themselves through their hoeing. That's what it is, man. You ain't ever seen nobody on the internet say nothing like that, bro. You ain't never seen them say that, bro. I'm giving you the game. I'm giving you my philosophies. Don't nobody be kicking this shit that I'm kicking right now. But with that being said, you know, shout out to Myron for actually saving a babe. And shout out to, you know, the women who watch this shit and understand the perspective and begin to understand, you know, that the things that they decide to do or some of the decisions that they're about to make are detrimental to themselves. Let's continue.
Now and contribute and work as a team. Eve was made to be a helpmate to Adam. Let's not play. Now the strategy. Show how outrageous it is when men demand to be provided for in the same equality. We all know being a provider in 2024 is a scam, so we don't care.
Okay.
So we're not doing that anymore. We know that's
You can stop here.
old-fashioned. These women.
All right, now the video on YouTube. This is the funny part. Show the creator as well doing this video. I forgot his name. Modern day something.
Manosphere, I believe.
Yeah.
If you're a woman and you're jealous and you're married, you married
Pause.
the wrong man.
So this is the founder of Sprinkle Sprinkle. She's the authoritarian on women best behavior and how they should act. So she's telling girls.
So what did she say in that first sentence? If you're married and you're jealous?
Yeah.
Play that back again, Mo,
We'll
please.
play it back.
And put subtitles.
If you're a
just for the
woman and
audience.
you're
Play from the beginning and put subtitles. Yep, there you go. Boom.
if you're a woman and you're jealous and you're married, you married the wrong man. Sprinkle,
Okay.
sprinkle, 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 sprinkle.
Also, men, if you know that you cannot give $30 or if it's hard for you to give, then you need to date within
Don't
your.
date. Do
You
not
can
date.
date. No, you
Do
can't.
not date.
But date with the woman that number
not
one
date.
does not.
Don't like 50-50. I don't do coffee dates. I don't care how much money I ever make. I still want my man to pay for everything. He should pick me up. He should drop me off. He should buy me Ubers. In exchange, he gets to not embarrass me and breathe my air. I think it's pretty fair. I think we're even Stevens. Otherwise, I don't need a man just to have a man.
I just got to stop it there because women's arrogance and entitlement is just unmatched. Like, like you don't see this type of delusion out of men. And you definitely don't see it in mass like you see it in women on the internet. It is just insane, bro. It is just insane. Like, and this is what it is, man. When you look at the average woman, especially if she is just fit bare minimum and she looks decent, I'm talking about 6'7", like her DMs are going crazy in this era. She's getting like, bro, you is a guy, even if you are average or slightly above, fuck that, an above average looking guy, you would still be lucky. If you're not thirst trapping every day or putting out bait and stuff like that every day, you would be lucky to get 5 DMs a week as far as the chick cold DMing you. You would be lucky. Dudes still got to send they shit out. And even then, dudes got to plant all types of bait. And the bait is not you just putting up your muscles or something like that. You know, yeah, that might work in some cases, but it's got to be really crafty shit. Really crafty shit. So with that being said, the amount of attention that they get has taken their egos to unprecedented places. Like women already in society before had crazy amounts of attention and they were already arrogant. But this shit has just inflated even below average women's ego to just a new fucking, a new height. It's crazy. And the funny thing about it is some of these women, like the woman in the last clip, like especially, fuck it, all of them, they think they are lovable to some degree. Like, these are not women you could love. Like, they are just not lovable. I'm gonna keep it so real, man. Let's continue.
One thing I will give those, and it might be a hot take for some of y'all. I agree. If you had a main chick and you can't give her $30, yeah, you probably shouldn't be dating, bro. You're a fucking brokey, if I'm going to be honest with y'all. Like, keeping all the way 1,000. Like, as a man, right, your job is to protect and provide. That is your fucking job. That's your duty. And you can't sit there and expect a lady to be traditional to you if you're not going to be a traditional man. That's how I look at it, right? Like, you need to have some semblance of dignity for what you bring to the table. However, I have a big problem with guys that are providers and guys that have their shit together than getting with girls that are unappreciative, non-submissive, pain in the ass, 304s. I just want you guys to get a fair trade back in return.
For the most part, I can't disagree with that. Everything he's saying is on point, and he's not saying that to just oppose the soft guy era. He's saying that in reference to the chick saying if you only got $30, you shouldn't be dating and stuff like that. And that I actually agree with. Now, the thing about that is that doesn't mean you can't get coochie. That doesn't mean that there aren't women that won't want to fuck with you and stuff like that. That just means you should have different priorities. As a man, you should be more focused on getting money than getting women if you broke. But that doesn't mean, and I'm talking about really broke. I'm not talking about, oh man, you work a 9 to 5 and you make like $8.50 an hour, like whatever. I'm talking about really broke. Like, as far as like, if you don't have a job, you should, like, flat broke type shit. If you don't have a job, if you don't have no income, you should be trying to raise that income. If you do have low income, you should be trying to raise that income. But if you are at a point where your living situation is stable and you got transportation and all of that, like, one of my messages is don't think that you got to be the multi-million-dollar man to get a babe. Don't think that you actually even, and this is where the disagreement kind of comes in, have to be a provider to get a man. See, this is the difference between me, Scarface Mark, who is the guy in the clips as far as who made the soft guy era, and me. Myron, he's going with the traditional. He says a man should be a protector and a provider. I agree with that, but I'll tell you where I go against the grain on that in a moment. So when you look at Scarface Mark, his belief is that providing as a man is a scam. We shouldn't have to provide for these women anymore because they want equality and all this stuff. So that also sounds good. But when we talk about what a man is supposed to be, I do believe that a man is supposed to be a provider. But this is where I clash at as far as Myron. Where I clash at with both of them is, number one, you don't have to be a provider. You don't. It's not a necessity to be a provider. So that's the first thing, because this is the thing. All of these chicks that these guys are saying that you got to have $1 million to get, that you have to provide for and stuff like that, they have fucked broke niggas. You could even look at the whole Rolo Tomasi short-term mate, long-term mate shit. What they call it, beta bucks, as far as Steph is cold. Like, when they want to commit, when they want a long-term commitment, that is when they want a provider. So you get the worst of her years and you don't even get a fair shake. You don't even get the same, because it was going wholesale. Like, it was really going pretty much for the free when she was young. But when she gets older and that value goes down as far as like the beauty and all that, that's when she wants to up the price, and that's when she requires more of a man. And then that's when women start saying, well, women can't up their standards. Who wants it? And this is when we get into the car analogies and stuff like that. Who wants to pay, retail price for a car that, is from 87 or whatever years from? Like, who wants to do that? So that's my point number one. You don't have to provide. You do not have to provide. And we could get into relationship dynamics and things of that nature. That's a whole different discussion, but that's a part of point number one. Point number two is that in this economy, it is becoming very hard to provide. It is not like 1955 where that was a standard and women didn't really have rights, and men made all the money and a woman had to rely on a man. No, women fought for their independence. They got it. Now they could be independent financially and stuff like that. But even outside of that, the economy, as far as the wages and the inflation rise, like, it's two different things. Like, the inflation is crazy. The cost of living is getting ridiculous. You need two incomes for a household. Even then, it's like, bruh, like, you expect men to have families in this financial climate and be the sole provider. Like, this is the thing about that. This is because we could say, oh man, you need to step it up as a man. We could say that to an individual, one guy, that's cool. The thing is, that is not realistic. It is not realistic for most men, for the average man, to be in a provider position in this economy. So yeah, you could say we're trying to mold men into above average men and stuff like that. That's a cool mission, bro. That's very cool. But when we look at it and you look at the realism of it, that's not going to be the situation for the majority of men. No matter what you say, no matter how you cut it, that's just how the economy works. We could tell niggas to go be plumbers and all this shit and start becoming techs and get career. We could tell them all that and go and do that. And we could think that's a solution. But even some of those people are fucking struggling. So with that being said, as far as the traditionalism, it sounds good and it still works if you can fit into that block as far as being a super provider. But outside of that, the average man is not going to be in that position, which means the relationships and the structure of the relationships has to change. There are people who do 50-50, fucking 60-40 or whatever the fuck ratio you want to say, and it works for them. And there are people who have had marriages like that for a long time and stuff like that. But this is the thing about it, especially when you look at modern women and the average woman nowadays, as far as the younger women and stuff like that, they're not conditioned to even accept something like that. So that's where, even innately and inherently, they're not supposed to be, doing what they fought for as far as being in the workforce and stuff like that, because they are just not built like us. And I'm talking about from a societal standpoint. A woman resents a man she has to take care of. That's just what it is. I don't have to go too much deeper than that. A man, like, look, I don't know who said this. It might have been Myron who said this, man, but it was a gem when it was dropped. When a woman makes more money, she says, I'm independent. I don't need no man. I don't need nobody. That's what she says when she gets the money. When a man gets more money, he says, now I can feed my family. Now I can feed my girl. Now I can take care of myself and the people who are around me. Even then, okay, let's say he doesn't have a family or anything like that. A guy says now he has the stability to provide for a woman. Or he says, now I can buy XYZ and that'll help me get women. That's the type of shit men do when they get money. Men don't get money just to have money and be rid of women and not have to spend any money on their kids. Men don't do that. Because in the other video that I did the other day about like women saying men are useless, all the men, every single man that they ask, do we need women? They all say, yeah. Even if you look at MGTOW and how they are supposed to be done with women, they through with women, all the content is focused on women for the most part. And the guys who are MGTOW seek it out. And why is that? Because when it comes to a biological standpoint, that's something we just can't shake off. We love women. We want women. It just is what it is. But when it comes to women, they don't have that. Like I mentioned in the other video as well, some of their hatred runs so deep to where they would do something that a man would never do, which is become gay. They will have 6 kids and hate every baby dad that they done had, every dude that they ever been with, and get so fed up at that point in their life that they just write off dudes completely and start dating women, thinking that the experience is going to be different. So I say all that to say, again, Myron, he believes the traditional values man should provide. Scarface Mark believes that providing is a scam. I believe that you do not have to be a provider, but even then outside of that, it is hard to be a provider. And the average man, the majority of men are not going to be providers. So the structure of relationships has to change. But the main problem of that, because guys can adapt to that, of course, women can't. And that's the issue. So, you could find a woman who will accept you as you are and things like that. That'll be great for you if you could find that. You get a woman who understands what's going on out here. You get a woman who would be grateful to have you helping, with whatever is going on as far as her rent situation or whatever, whatever. Get a woman who wouldn't resent you for that and things of that nature, man. Outside of that, you can become a provider, but this is the thing even about becoming a provider, man. If you lead with money, you're going to get bad results. You're going to get the worst types of women. You are going to get women who literally only want you for what you have to offer and what you can give them versus who you are. And I've touched on that in other videos as well. So the truth is, in my book, you have to find out who is for you. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. I'm coming with videos weekly, daily. I'll catch y'all.